welcome. You all listen, let's go ahead and let's get straight to it. Let's get started. Let's get started. You all listen. Just when you think you all, you have heard it all, you all listen. They find a new way to let you know. No, you think you heard it all. You haven't heard it all. You have not heard it all. You all listen. Forget throwing the gender reveals. Baby girl said, you know what? Listen, since we always hollering, keep it real and I'm going to be honest. Baby girl said, listen, I done been out here, this hoo-ha done slipped and slid and slid through these streets. And I'm not really sure who my baby daddy is. So baby girl threw a who's my baby daddy reveal party. You all heard me. She threw a party to reveal which man was her child's father. She had both of the men there in attendance, and she had the DNA results of the unborn child in the envelopes. And at the end of the party, it was revealed which sucker was the baby, which post-sap was the father of her child. Now, you all listen. You all, we got to do better. Okay, some things should just be done in private. And you all, that was one of them. Baby girl, you trying to reveal who your baby daddy was in the form of a party is not a good look. It's certain things that should just be kept under wraps. She went all out, you all. I guess the best thing about this was, if you could say the best thing out of this was, is that she had two men there that were there to support her and that wanted to find out if they were in fact the child's father, to be there to show support that way. But that's all I got. That's all I got of the whole entire situation, you all. That is what I got. So listen, you all, please let this be the first and the last. Who is my baby daddy's reveal party? Let's not make a habit of doing this foolishness like this, because you all listen, we have enough stupid stuff to contend with. We don't need to go and add something else as having who's my baby daddy parties. We have enough. Black family, we got enough going on. We don't need to go and add no other foolery like this. So please let this be the first and the last who's my baby daddy reveal that we ever have to see, because it's not a good look. Again, the only thing that I can say, if I can say something good about that particular situation, is that, she stepped up and she did not play games and lead these brothers on to make one of them think that they were the father, when she in fact knew that she did not know who the real child's father was. So I just feel like, listen, we got to do better. Okay. We have to do better. Please, let's not make that a norm. Let's not make that the standard. Now, listen, speaking of norm and speaking of standards, you all listen, I feel bad for this pastor out in Texas, you all. A Texas pastor loses her lawsuit against Hulu's The Freaknik documentary. Yes, you all, she loses a pastor in Texas. She loses her lawsuit against Hulu's The Freaknik documentary. I feel bad that she lost the lawsuit, but it's like, on the flip side, ma'am, The Freaknik was just a whole different type of vibe, a whole different type of era. And why are you suing them? I understand you did not give them consent to use your image, and that you're a pastor now and you're living your life a different way and things of that nature. I understand that. But some things, that we do, unfortunately, and I feel like this is just one of those examples, some things that you do, they may come back to haunt you. So you have to be ever so mindful of the things that you are doing. Now, listen, this could be a great learning lesson. This could be a great teaching tool going forward for the young people in your flock to let them know, listen, look at me. Do not be like me. I'm out here wilding out and acting crazy. And then you have to bring it back around and say, you know what? Before the Lord delivered me, yes, I was out here tricking and doing and twerking and doing all kinds of ungodly things at this Freaknik before the Lord delivered me. But ma'am, once you found out you were in that documentary, I mean, she must have been getting down to, to be one of the people that was in the documentary. And I'm not laughing and making fun because I know that, man, all these years later, 30 years, 35 years later, and then your past is being broadcast to the whole entire world. But you know what? That's what's going to happen to some of these people today. You all are out here, twerking and getting it in and all this other stuff because you're young and it seems fun. But then when you grow up and you get in your mid 30s and 40s and 50s and so on and so forth, and you have prominent positions in society, and this bull junkie come back to haunt you, I can't say I don't know anybody that would feel good being in that position. Again, there was a lot of people at these Freakniks that showed up in these documentaries when this stuff first came out. It was a lot of people that were really disturbed about and concerned about being, in the Freaknik. And this is just one time where I can say, I'm glad, my mother did not let me partake in things like that because, my face could have been slattered across the Freaknik, the Hulu. But I'm not really sure if I would be embarrassed or not, because knowing me, especially the me back then, I would have been doing something crazy, but it wouldn't have been doing nothing nasty that I would have been ashamed of, being me today and looking back at the me yesterday and saying, oh my God, I cannot believe I did that to that dude on camera. No, I didn't have any of those moments, but it would have been some, some like, she did, Jay, really? That's what you would have saw. But ma'am, we're sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. Listen, let's be honest. She was the wrong complexion to win this lawsuit. That's all I can say. You were the wrong complexion going up against a big company like that. And it's unfortunate that, you didn't win. But ma'am, we're sorry. Now listen, speaking of sorry, ladies, look, okay, I can understand you meeting a guy and you taking one of your friends with you, having somebody there with you when you're going on a first date and meeting a stranger, especially if it's somebody that you've met off of social media or you've met off of one of these dating platforms. I can understand you taking a friend along. However, this lady, she invited five of her friends on a first date. And listen, and then she had the nerve to expect the dude to pay for the five friends that she invited. And I'm like, wait a minute, ma'am. So you just had a whole party invited, because that's what it was. You got five friends there for the date. First of all, if you're inviting your friends on the date, or you're inviting somebody to come out and watch, and be there with you when you're meeting someone new, the person you're on a date with should not know it's somebody else there with you. The person or people that come there to watch or just be in the area to make sure nothing happens to you, nobody should even know that they're there. The guy shouldn't know that they're there. You're not taking these people there so that they can get a free meal. I'm just like, come on, you all. We have to do better. Some folks and some things are just really, 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 really trifling. And this was one of those things. Ma'am, if you invited all five of your girls out, you all intended to have a girls' night on this man's dime. And I'm glad he didn't pay. Because that was totally out of order. How are you on a date and you got all 5 of your friends at the table with this man? Like, what type of sense does that make? Like, it doesn't. Somebody has to help me understand. Again, I know that people sometimes take friends or have friends meet them at the restaurant when they're going out with somebody new. That's not uncommon. But what is uncommon is you letting the dude know that you got people there. You're inviting them to the table. They're ordering food. They're a part of the date. Ma'am, this no longer is a date. It's a girls' night, and you're expecting a stranger that you just met. You're expecting him to pay the bill, and then when he doesn't pay the bill for you and 5 of your friends, there's 5 extra women there that are no doubt ordering drinks and appetizer and just ordering up on this what they thought was going to be this man's dime, and now everybody want to get mad because he didn't pay. Why should he pay? Those your friends, that's you and your trifling clique. If I was him, I would have got my bill, paid for my stuff, and left all you chicks there to figure out who was gonna pay this high bill. I would have left you all there. Even if you did come with me, you would have been left there at the restaurant. So, ladies, young ladies, please look, come on. You all talk to your young people, because the way things are being done today, it is so backwards. It is so not a good look. It's just like every bird brain ideal that some of these people can think of, or they call themselves finessing somebody. Listen, get yourself together. Spend less time trying to finesse somebody and trying to come up on somebody, and apply that same energy towards getting yourself together, so you don't have to worry about trying to finesse somebody. If you finessing all this finessing energy, you could be finessing yourself into a better opportunity. Finesse yourself into a higher education. Finesse yourself to get some certifications and stuff behind your name. Finesse yourself into a better position. But stop trying to finesse somebody on their dime. Like, stop trying to finesse these dudes. A lot of these young ladies, you put yourselves in very dangerous and very compromising situations. So if this dude had been somebody dangerous, all of you all would have been hurt. It wouldn't have been nobody to call for help, because you all sitting at the table trying to get a free meal. Now, for the dude, sir, this goes back to me telling you all, fellas, screen these ladies. Take up a moment. Listen, a moment to talk to these chicks verbally on the phone will save a lot of you a whole lot of heartache and pain. It will save you a lot of time. It will save you a lot of money, because you get to vet and you get to listen to what type of person you're dealing with. You get a chance to hear that in their conversation, hear it in their voice. But a lot of you all are just playing the field. You texting you got about 1,000 of them in your rotation, and you just trying to see which one gonna be available, first, so you can go ahead on, take her out, pay a little something, and take her down that same night. That's all a lot of you all are thinking about. And that's why you end up in these type of crazy situations with these chicks, because y'all falling for anything. Y'all going for anything. The biggest butt, whoever jiggling the best, whoever doing this the best, this is who you all go out with. But then when you get her there and you finally meet her, you have some type of interaction with her, now you find out, oh, she like this. Well, you know what? She's always been like this. But you didn't take the time to get to know who you were dealing with before you move to the next level. And listen, in today's society, dating should come in phases. Going on a date should be like an interview. Let's talk. Let me screen you over the phone. If you pass the screening over the phone, then we can move to the next level. which is a date. But if you flunk out, if you bomb out on the phone interview, then there's no need to proceed to a date. You all are doing it backwards. You're going right to the date. Then you complain about spending your money. Yeah, where you're spending your money because you're not going through the process correctly. You all are jumping. Listen, look, I know some of you all listen. It ain't tricking if you got it, but a lot of you all don't have it because you get online and then you cry about the money. And I say cry about it because you're not doing your due diligence. You just going out with you just trying to get all of them because you're trying to smash them all. But in smashing them all, you're going to have to pay a lot. You're going to, let's just be honest with it. If you taking all these chicks out on dates, you're going to be spending a pretty penny. But if you change your method of dating again and only smash and take out the ones that you really are kind of interested in, this will save you a lot of money. But again, if y'all doing that you DM them, hit them up, and y'all DMs are talking, and then the first real conversation that a lot of you all are having is when you're out on a date. And at that point, it's too late because you're already out there now. You face to face with somebody that could be a psycho. But we're not taking the time to go through those channels of just slowing it down a bit and just go back to the old school, just a little bit, you all, and start talking to these people on the phone before you move to the next step of meeting them in person. Now, listen, you all, what do you all think about this? This lady says, it's not cheating if you don't have the same last name. Oh, baby, she said it's not cheating if you don't have the same last name. Meaning if you all are just dating or in a relationship, if you are not married, you cannot be cheated on. Yes, she said it. She said it, not me. She said that if you don't have the same last name, it is not cheating. You did not get cheated on if you don't have the same last name. What do you all think? Are you in agreement with that theory? Because let me just go ahead on and get to it. I'm not. You can be cheated on if you're not married. You can be cheated on because if you got me over here being in a relationship and you told me that you were in a relationship and we're in a committed relationship, then we made a commitment to each other and said, you know what? I'm going to be exclusive with you. You're going to be exclusive with me, and we're going to be together. We're together. We're working towards changing your last name. That's what we're working towards. So I don't buy that, if it's not cheating if you don't have the same last name. But this puts some new foolishness out there into the dating pool, you all. So now this is something else that you have to look forward to and look out for. You have to ask people, do they believe that if you're not married, there's no such thing as cheating? Because what this chick is pulling is, she's like, yeah, if your last name ain't the same, it's not cheating. So if you have a boyfriend or a baby daddy and they with somebody else, you have a girlfriend or a baby mama and they with somebody else, according to baby girl, that ain't cheating. Folks can do whatever it is that they want to do. If you don't have the same last name, she said it is not cheating. And I said I don't know why she let the devil ride her tongue like that, because that is another crock of bull junkie that, yeah. Again, I'm going to go with what you're saying. So if the conversation that we have, that's going to let me know where we are. Because if you're giving me your word and I'm giving you my word, then I expect you to stand 10 toes down on your word, and you should expect me to stand 10 toes down on mine. And if at any point it changes for you or it changes for me, we should be grown enough to come back to the same table and have the same conversation and say, listen, this ain't working for me. I'm out. It no longer works for me. This relationship, this situation, I'm no longer feeling it. That's what grown folks should do, not play these games. If you are one of those people that believe that it's not cheating if your last name is not the same, here's the deal. I can respect you on that. Say that ish up front. Don't get in a relationship with somebody letting them think that you believe in the cheating, traditional sense of cheating. Don't do that. Let that be known. Listen, I'm in an open relationship. This will be open. I'm with you, but I have the right. I desire to be with whoever I want to be with because we're not married. So I don't believe that I'm cheating if I decide to go out with somebody else. I don't believe that you're cheating if you go out with somebody else. But see, a lot of times, let's just be honest. This ish is one-sided. It only benefits the person that has that belief, because a lot of times they can be the ones to go out and cheat and do all that, but they don't want you doing it. Oh no. That's why they don't say it. That's why most people will not say it. They gonna just do it behind your back because they don't want you doing it. So if this how we moving, then let that ish be known. Let it be known, like, listen, this is just where I'm at with it. This is where I'm at. I don't believe if we're not married, I don't believe that you can be cheated on if we're not married. Say that ish up front. Don't let people sit up here and think that you're somebody worth being with and somebody worth, I found the man. Oh my God, I found the man of my dreams. I'm with this man. We finna ride this thing out. And you ain't ish. You ain't. Why you ain't ish? Because you know that you're about to do something that they're not aware of, that you know that they're not going to be on board with. That's why you're not going to tell them. That's why you're not going to reveal it. And that's why you own a whole bunch of ish. Again, I don't have a problem with a person that says this is what they believe in. I want to know that. I have the right to know that. Let me know this ish up front so that I can keep moving. Let me know this is how you think so I can get out the way. I'm not trying to have my feelings hurt. I'm not trying to waste my time because this is the way you think. I'm not trying to do that whatsoever. So let me just go ahead and move out the way and let you find somebody that thinks and has the same beliefs as you. But to come and say, I don't believe that it's cheating if you don't have the same last name, I believe that you are a lie. I believe you a lie and the truth ain't nowhere in you. Just like the truth ain't nowhere in this young lady in this next hot topic. You all listen. So the baby done graduated from kindergarten. So the goofy mother, and I'm calling her Goofy, she posts up a picture of her baby daddy, and she's upset because the baby daddy came to the baby's kindergarten graduation in his work clothes. And she had a problem with that. She's like, oh, this dirty B, he couldn't even go home and change clothes. How he gonna embarrass my baby like that? First of all, let me tell you something, you bird brain chick. This man showed up. He worked all night. He did not have time to go home to change because he would have missed the baby's graduation. So would you prefer for him to have missed the baby's graduation because you want him to go home and shower and do all of this other stuff? Some people priorities got to get their priorities together. And in this situation, I think that the mother was definitely out of line, definitely out of pocket. Here's what you could have did, mother, if you knew that he was going to be coming right from work and you had a problem and you didn't want him showing up and embarrassing your baby. Why didn't you have a clean shirt there for him so he could put the clean shirt on when he get there so he could take a picture with the baby? Why you didn't do that? Why you didn't do something productive opposed to trying to make this man look bad? Why didn't you do something productive? Why didn't you step up and say, you know what, this is about my baby. I want my baby to have a great memory of this kindergarten graduation. Let me look, I already know he's going to come up in here with his work uniform on, and I don't want him in these pictures with my baby with his work uniform on. So I'm going to bring him a shirt. You could at least brought him a shirt. Yeah, he could have. Listen, I'm saying she could have brought it. He could have brought it too. You all look, sometimes dudes, they don't think like that. Ladies, we got to understand this. Dudes don't always think how we think. We think two different ways. Two different ways. So if you know his main concern, he was not concerned about how he looked. He was just concerned on being there for his daughter. And he did that. You were concerned about how he was going to look. You were concerned about the pictures and how the pictures would look. He wasn't concerned about that. He did what he came to do, which was to show up for his daughter and put a smile on his daughter's face. Again, if you wanted to worry about the details, then you could have done what you could have been the bigger person. You could have been a mother, since you want to post pictures and you all about the cinematics and the photography and stuff. Then you could have brought a shirt. You could have had a shirt. You could have went to the dollar store and got a little dollar store t-shirt. So you could have had a clean t-shirt to put on. Can you put this on so you could take pictures with the baby? You could have did that. But instead, what you want to do, you want to embarrass this man in front of the whole world. But but little did she know, it was going to backfire on her. People do not see it her way. People are not looking at it. Oh, well, he there all dirty and stuff. People are looking at the fact, just like I am. He showed up. He showed up. See, this seemed like this the type of baby mama that be giving the baby daddy a hard time. He's doing what he got to do. And because you don't like the way he's doing it, you give him a hard time. Ladies, you all have to stop that. You have to stop that. You got to let these fathers father the way that they father. It may not be how you like it. A lot of us, we have a lot of things that we like to do our way, and you do it your way when you have the child and you are in control of the day and the environment and all that. When you doing it and it's your plan, your dime, you control it. But when the child gets with the father, stop micromanaging these dudes. It's a lot of mothers out here that likes to micromanage the fathers. When the kids get with the fathers, they going with them and you better not be letting them do this. And you better not, as long as it's not nothing dangerous or nothing bad. Listen, slow down. Slow down. Let this man father how he's going to father. Again, notice I said, as long as it's not anything dangerous or it's not anything bad, slow down. Leave these men alone. Let these men father how they're going to father. But I feel like this is so unfair for this mother to do that and try to blame and embarrass this man for being there with his child. But he came in his work clothes and his work clothes were really dirty and people were having a problem with that. Ma'am, you focusing on the wrong stuff. Stop majoring in minor things. Again, if it was that important to you, how he looked, you knew he would be coming from work, you should have gotten him a t-shirt or something so that he could take the pictures that would have been better in your eyes. So you should have at least done that. But leave these dudes alone and let them dudes father these kids in the way in which they desire to father them. Now, listen, speaking of fathering, listen, you all, we're on the end of prom season and graduation season. And you all, some of these proms have been ridiculous. Now, some people are saying, let these kids flex, let them flex. What's the listen, I'm gonna say I think flexing is starting to be a mental illness. I really do. I really do. What are you flexing for? Who are you showing? What makes you go to sleep and put in your spirit and you just wake up and say, I gotta do something so I can flex on it? What? Why are people so concerned about what other people think or showing out for other people? I don't understand that way of living. I don't understand that way of thinking. I don't understand what the purpose of that is. But a young man lost his life, a day or so after his prom, and a lot of people are saying it was unrelated. So I don't know if it was related to him taking a picture, but he had over $200,000 at his prom send-off. Not $200,000 worth of stuff and cars and stuff. This was $200,000 in cash, and he's flexing with it, taking pictures of it, him and his prom date. And I said to myself, what type of wahala is this? Oh, yes. What type of foolishness? What type of foolish... Listen, I blame the parents for this foolishness. What type of foolishness was that? What was the purpose of you all having $200,000 in cash and broadcasting it to the world? I don't understand that. And so they said shortly after, either later on that night or the next day, but shortly after, the young man was unalived. And, definitely RIP to his family, because this is ridiculous. A young life gone. Again, they're saying that it's unrelated to the money. So I don't know if it's related or not. So I'm not going to say it is. I'm going to talk about it from this aspect of what was pictured. And that was $200,000 in cash. And him and his prom date are taking pictures, flexing all of this money. And I don't understand, what were the parents thinking? What do you all think? Do we have anybody in the live? Drop in the comments if you feel like, if you are in favor of these lavish prom send-offs and why. No judgment. Just want to understand, like, where is this coming from? Because you often will see these lavish prom send-offs, but then when these kids, if they even go to college, when they get down to college, a lot of them are not even able to make it past the first semester because they owe so much. These books are so expensive. Calculators are so expensive. Listen, okay, the key code, a lot of these classes, you don't even get the physical book anymore. You get a key code to the book, and the key code costs $300, $400 per key code per book. And listen, the parents, you don't have the money to get the key code. You don't got $300 for the key code, but you got $7,500 to get Rolls Royce for an hour. We got to make that make sense. How does that make sense? You got $200,000 in cash for your child to flex with and show out with. And all I can say is that's some poor people stuff. Like, you don't see people with money, like, they're not really doing this. They will do a little something, but helicopters, listen, these folks done had helicopters and Bentleys and Rolls Royces and $200,000 in cash and trim, gold trim, this gold trim. all kinds of craziness. And I'm just like, you're telling the world how poor you are. You are broadcasting to the world how poor you are by doing that. People with money are not doing this dumb, ignorant stuff. So please, you all, make this the last year that we do this in our community. We got to get better. Like, why do you care about doing all that? Like, go talk to, like, why? Parents, why are you spending all this money going, you getting her a $10,000 prom dress? Prom dress. Prom dress. It's not even a wedding dress. It's a prom dress. A prom dress. And I know a lot of people are saying, because this is going to be that may be the only highest celebration that they get. Why? That's the problem right there. You're not planning for them to do nothing past high school. And we got to stop that. That shouldn't be the only graduation. That shouldn't be the only expectation. Well, all I just want them to do is make it out of high school. Why? Why is that all? You're setting the bar this low for them. This low. It's so much out there outside of high school. What are you preparing them for? What are you preparing them for? All of this lavish, superficial stuff. We live in a day and time where people are so flipping superficial. God, it's sickening. Like, if you don't have on a label this and a label that, ooh, that's so loud. What kind of shoes you got on? Some shoes that's comfortable. What kind of shirt you got on? A shirt that's comfortable. Why? Most of these brands that we love to spend our money on, they don't even like us. We're going out there flexing all of these name brand designers. They don't even like you. They don't even want you in their stuff. But we out here breaking our neck. Oh, I got this on. I got this label, this and that. Why? 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 Again, I'm not saying that it's not nice to have nice label stuff and name brand things, and I'm not making it seem like I don't have, but you ain't gonna never see me on here putting no labels on. Them folks ain't paying me. They don't even like me. So I don't care. I will go and grab something gladly that doesn't have a name on it, because my self-esteem is not wrapped into wearing a label. I don't feel any different than wearing a label versus wearing a shirt that, that'll make my boobies sit up right. Bada bing and bada bang, I gotta sit these bad boys up, make sure everybody, make sure they're comfortable. You all right? You all right? I gotta check on them and, check on the girls and make sure everybody all right. So that's how I be dressing. But again, I'm not saying that I don't have other things, but I'm not bombarded by it and I don't have to have it. So if I find something and I'm comfortable with paying the price for it, then I'm going to pay it. But if I'm not going out looking for, just the most expensive thing just because, oh, it's this label. If it's ugly, I'm not getting it. If it's too expensive, that I feel like it's too expensive for me to buy, I'm not getting it. Because here's the thing, you all, we waste a lot of money. A lot of money. But how many of us are teaching our kids about investing in stocks, investing in bonds, investing in ETFs? How many? See, we're not doing that. If you got a stock in this big company and you decide to go out and buy you a purse from them, I have no problem with that. You getting money back, you making money, you supporting the business that pays you. But if you don't have a stock in these high profile companies, why are you going and spending your money? They don't even like you. And the you I'm talking to is Black people. They don't even like us. And we break our neck going to get the newest this and the newest. Why? They tell you all the time they don't like you. You got these artists and these rappers and stuff. Oh, I'm this, and they just got all their name brand. For what? They not even paying you. If they was sponsoring you, that's a whole different story. But if you're just wearing it because it boosts your self-esteem, you didn't get hugged enough as a child. They didn't tell you that they loved you enough as a kid, because there's no way in the world that you should only feel good about yourself is when you have a label on, when you're overspending money, when you spending money that you don't even have, that you can't even afford to lose. Why are you spending that money? Why are you spending money? You spending money just, guess what? Just to show off. Just to show off. You showing off for what? Who are you showing off to? Other people that don't have it. Like, why are we such in a hurry to, oh yeah, I'm going to flex this, I'm going to flex that? Listen, can we do a little less flexing and a little more investing? Especially in today. Listen, you all, the world is changing. The shift is here. The shift is here. If you don't have your money working for you, something is wrong. Something is wrong. You got to have work your job. There's no such thing as I don't make enough money to save anything. You do. If you wear hair weave, you can go without the weave, or you can get a cheaper version of the weave and save some money. If you drinking liquor and cigarettes, cut that bull junkie out, or listen, smoke half of it and put the other half up. So instead of smoking 2 packs a week, you only smoking a pack a week and you saving the other. See how I just helped you out? I didn't even say stop smoking, because I understand that it's a habit and a lot of people can't give it up just that easily. However, I have showed you where if you really serious about your future and your kids' future, then you should be saving, and how you can save. Listen, stop being afraid of investing. You give your money away anyway. Oh no, I don't do that stock market. They ain't gonna do nothing but take your money. Well, y'all go to the doggone boat and give your money away at the boat. So what's the difference? Why not take a better chance on investing in a better stock or ETF instead of going and giving it to the casino? Because you know when you put it in, listen, you put your $100 in that machine, you can almost guarantee ain't nothing coming out in your favor. You can guarantee that them cherries ain't gonna all line up. You done put it in them, or you done push the lever and you wait for them cherries to come. And instead of you getting 3 cherries, you get 2 cherries and a grape. Now you done lost your $100. But at least if you put that $100 and buy an ETF, you're gonna get your $100 and then some. I'm just saying, I'm not a stock expert, but if you not in the stock market, I'm going to say this. If you're not in the stock market, you are cheating yourself. You are cheating yourself. People will listen, people about cars, and listen, you about the best cars, and then you ask them what their portfolio look like. Because sometimes I will ask a dude, like, what's your portfolio looking like? I don't want to know how much you got. I just want to know, like, if I'm shocking you by saying the word portfolio, you can't lead me financially. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I have to ask you that because I need to know where your mind is. I need to know, how do you think? How do you manage finances? How are you managing and conducting your own life? Because if your own life ain't in order, then you're going to want me to come, and now I'm going to have to listen, and then I'm going to be talking back, and now you're going to be like, oh, she don't listen, because you don't know what you're talking about. Sir, king, Lord, whatever you want to be called, you don't know what you're talking about. So now you're going to get mad at me because now I got a different game plan, because no, that's why y'all got to start talking about that stuff up front. Talk about credit up front. You don't have to tell them your score, but can you tell me what neighborhood your credit score live in? Can you tell me, are you in the 300s? Can you tell me, are you in the 400s? Can you tell me if you're in the 5, 6, 7? Can you tell me what neighborhood are you in? I like to ask that. Now, some people have said that is evasive. That's a personal question. You shouldn't be asking people what their credit score is. Well, again, I'm not asking you what your score is. I just want to know what neighborhood you in. That's it. I should, what neighborhood is your credit score in, so that I can know what I'm dealing with. I'll tell what neighborhood my credit score is in, because if I'm asking you, I don't have a problem with telling it. But listen, they'll ask you all about your body count, how many people you done been with, how many ways you done did it. They want to know all that. But you can't ask them what neighborhood. Now you want to sit all up. What she mean? What's my credit score? What did you just ask her? What's her body count? So you can talk about how many people been all up and between her thighs, betwixt her thighs. How many people done had that honey pot before it was your turn? Y'all want to know all that. But now she can't ask you what neighborhood your credit score in. Okay. Do what you want. Ask them whatever you want, however you want. Again, these are important questions to know up front, because they could potentially come and bite you in the behind later. So you want to know if they got challenging credit, and then your credit is good. That's gonna affect you. If you all decided to go forward, move forward in a relationship, move forward in marriage, that person with bad credit is going to affect the person with good credit. It's going to affect you. So that's why it's important to know, so that you can come up with a game plan. Like, if your credit is bad, if you know it's in the 300 or 400 something, am I saying kick them to the curb? No, I'm not. But you all are dating right now. So if your credit is solid and you think that this dude is a good investment, or you see some potential in him, why not say, you know what, listen, have you ever thought about working on your credit? Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about that? Just put things out there so that they can fix it. Or if it's the woman with the bad credit, have you ever thought about, fixing your credit and this and that? Because what I don't do, I'm not co-signing nothing for you. I'm not co-sign. I don't co-sign. I don't co-sign at all. At all. You are not. Listen, co-signing. Listen, I don't care who they are, your kids. That's why we need to be putting these people in position, so when they leave the house, they are debt free. They know how to manage their money. But a lot of us, we not sending these kids out the door knowing how to do this. All we sending them out the door knowing how to do is spend and flex. And then they end up in all of this debt. Then you done already, listen, you flexing all this money on social media and spending all this money on a prom send-off, but you still ain't paid the gas bill and the light bill that you got in their name when they was little kids. So now when they get out on their own, they finna have a hard time. They finna have to put a deposit down on everything, because you done put all these utilities and stuff. They got Comcast all up in their name. They got People's Energy, Nicor Gas. They got all this stuff in their name. And now they can't get out of it because it's your debt, but you put it in their name. And you don't have the money to pay it, but you got the money to rent a Bentley for prom. You see how our priorities are all messed up? And then you're going to be mad at the kid, and you're going to fall out with the kid, because the kid going to have a hard time, and they're going to be blaming you, rightfully so, because you put all that ish in their name, and now you don't want to take responsibility because you can't afford it. You can't afford to clean their name up. And that ain't cool. But this is why we have these conversations, because again, if their credit is messed up, start working on that before you all get serious. And you could check in with them time to time. And, did you ever take advantage of that credit program I was telling you about? Did you ever go through those steps? And if they've never went through those steps and it's been a year or 2 years and now you all are serious, and I don't know, I would just, for me, I would think twice. We'll be able to be married, but we wouldn't be able to be, I would have to keep my same identity because your name is spoiled. So we would not be able to go on anything together until you get your stuff together, because one person coming in with bad credit or a bad name is definitely a liability, and you're going to bring your partner down. So we definitely got to do better with that, better with our credit. Let's stop all this flexing, because again, who we flexing for? Why we flexing? Taking all these pictures with all this money, trying to impress people that don't got it. You ain't got it and they ain't got it. So I'm trying to figure out what we doing. Now, speaking of figuring out and what we doing, you all, is it okay for a step parent? Oh, it's going to be some people mad about this. Is it okay for a step parent to discipline their stepchild? Stepmom or stepdad, is it okay for them to physically discipline the stepchild? What do you all think about that? See, this is another one of those situations that, again, this is kind of sticky, and this has to be talked about before, coming together and thinking that everybody is about to kumbaya, because all situations are not situation kumbaya moments. So this man is working hard. He's taking care of your kids, but you telling him he can't discipline your kids. Okay. So you want him to pay the school fees, get them something to eat, pick them up from school, buy their clothes, pay the rent for them, pay the gas, provide a roof over their head, all of this, making sure they warm, just doing everything, just taking care of them, just giving. But if he has a problem and he needs to step in and exude his authority, he cannot physically discipline the same kids that he's given all his resources, all his time to. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. She, the stepmama, she can't discipline the kids. She cooking for them, she cleaning, she taking care of them, helping them with the homework, dropping them off at school, picking them up from school, doing everything that a mother should do for the child. But she's the stepmom, but she cannot discipline the child. Oh, if my baby do something wrong, then you let me know when you drop her back off at home. But ain't nobody hitting my kid but me, and I can respect that. And ain't nobody gonna be paying for nothing for your kid but you either, because I find it very, very. I'm not comfortable with this, where you want the person to do all of this stuff, do all this taking care of your child. But now when it comes to discipline, that's when you draw the line. If you feel like the person that you've married, if you don't trust them disciplining your child, why did you marry them? This ain't for everybody to be. I'm not saying every boyfriend that you get, every girlfriend that you get should be able to discipline your child or children. I'm not saying that. We're talking about the step parent that you have married. You have said, I do to this person. So if you don't trust this person to discipline your child, why are they around your child? I'm not understanding. How do you only have enough? You trust them enough to let your child stay home and sleep unattended with this person, but you don't trust this person enough to discipline your child. Why are they in the home with your child? That's what I would say to a person that says that, well, I don't trust nobody to be able to discipline my child. Then why do you have anybody around your child? If you don't have the trust in your spouse to discipline your child, why are they your spouse? Why are they allowed to be around your kids? And again, you all, this is a very, 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 very touchy, and it's a very delicate situation, and it should be proceeded. You proceed with caution in these type of situations when you have kids, but you can't, I will not understand, and I will not be on board with somebody that is doing all this. They're giving you all their resources and they taking care of your child, and they're being a parent to your child in every step of the way. But the only thing is they cannot discipline your child. What type of sense does that make? I don't understand it. Again, am I saying everybody has the right to come in and discipline your children or touch your history? No, I'm not. But if you said I do to them, again, you got to help me understand, how do you say I do to a person, but then in the very next voice, in the very next breath, you say, but I don't trust nobody disciplining my kids. My kids, I'm going to discipline my kids. Okay? Then you should raise your kids on your own. That's how you should do. Listen, I know that makes, listen, you should raise your kids on your own. And here's the thing. I'm talking from the standpoint from a person that did not feel comfortable with people trying to discipline their kids. So guess what? I raised my son on my own because I saw me having to stand before the people and read my number up over my head, because if you did something to mine, now I'm going to be having a number over my head. Turn to the side, Jay. You know, I would have been having to do that. So I didn't trust that. But I also knew that, what do it look like me having somebody in the house that I don't trust to discipline my child, but I still got you in the house with me? What kind of sense do that make? That didn't make sense to me, so I didn't rock like that. My son gone and grown, and now I can do whatever chalupa however I want to. I can be all for the streets, you all. I can be for the entire streets because I done raised mine. But I understand for a parent that will say, I don't feel comfortable with nobody disciplining my kids. You should be single until you raise your kids. I'm not saying putting on anybody in that place, because again, I know how it is. I didn't feel comfortable with that. And it's not to say that it wasn't the people, but it was just history and childhood traumas that had me on edge regarding raising my son. So I was not about to chance it, because I'm like, you know, you may not know, but like I can go from smiling to like, it can be real dangerous for you up in here if you do something to mine. And I didn't want a chance that. I didn't want to put myself in that position. Like I always say, know ye thine self. I know me. I know thine self. And I was like, you know what, self, it ain't even worth it. You're gonna have to just smooth sail through this right here, because I don't feel comfortable with that. So I understand from a parent that would say that. But on the flip side, you can't expect somebody to be a parent to your child in all of the other areas, but they can't discipline. You can come and you can buy them all this, you can give them all your money, but when you got a problem, you got to take it to the biological parents. Say what? Say what now? So your little daughter is sassing off, and I can't haul off and push her or twist her lips or spank her. I can't do any of that. I got to tell you. Okay. All right. Well, keep the same energy. Babe, she needs some absolutely not. And then you all get mad at them step parents that say, you know what? No, I'm not giving you my money for your child. If you want to just discipline, and this is where this stuff gets messy, and this is what causes breakups and all of this stress and stuff in these marriages and stuff, because you all did not talk about this beforehand. So this is a very good topic, and it's a very good conversation to have beforehand when you are blending families. You got kids coming in. This needs to be talked about. How do you feel about me physically disciplining your kids? Do you physically discipline kids? How does that look? I'm an auntie with all of these nieces and that. Look, if you don't believe in spanking in your house, I understand that and I can respect that. Can you keep your kid? No, I can't, because I put my foot up in kids. In this house, we put our foots up in kids' behinds in this house. So your kids don't experience that. So they can't come over here. And I love you, but that's with all due respect. I put my foot right there, boom, kick them, pluck them right upside the head, push them, put them in the corner, whatever it is, it happens over here. And you say that you don't do that to your child, and listen, I respect that. I will never hit nobody's kid that say, you know what, my kid don't keep, I don't do that to my kids. Okay? Just keep your kids over there. Can you? Nope. I hit kids. No, I will pluck the devil out of them. I will look. No, we kick behind over. We take names and we kick behind. We take names and we kick behind. That's what happens over here in this camp. But if you say that don't happen with your kid, I respect that. I can't, but I can't be responsible for a kid, even as an aunt watching a kid. I can't keep nobody else's kids that they like, oh, well, you know, I don't spank my. And here's the thing. I don't think everything deserves a spanking. I don't. I can count on one hand the number of kids that I've had to spank in my time, because maybe the stuff that I'd have been said to them be way worse than a spanking would be. But however, I need to reserve, let that be at my discretion. Let me do it, but don't send me with a list of don'ts and then you expect me to properly care for your. No, I need you and your liability to stay over there. Y'all got to stay over there. You're not going to come over here and vex my spirit. So the same thing for the step parents. If you feel like, you know, man, I don't let nobody else put their hands on my kids and this and that, I can respect that. But you can't expect somebody to still keep the same energy when taking care of your kids. You want them to take care of your kids financially, but they can't discipline your kids. That is probably you really looking at that in you're gonna be in a lose-lose situation. Now, listen, this next hot topic though, this guy says, listen, if I date a woman with kids, there is no reason for her to contact her baby daddy for anything because I'm taking care of her and the kids. He's like, listen, if I'm your man, I'm your man. I'm taking care of you and them kids. Now, I know ladies are like, where is this brother at? Where can I find him? How do he got friends and brothers that think like that? Is that a good way to be, fellas? Or is that considered simping? Because, you know, a lot of these guys, a lot of y'all today, anytime a man get up and say something positive or helpful towards single mothers, he is immediately placed in the simping category. Oh, nah, that's simping. Yeah, he is simp. I don't see anything wrong with that. However, the flip side would be is, sir, if her baby daddy is active in his child's life, you know, I understand you're doing this for the child, but that should not affect the relationship and the rapport that the child has with their father. So if the father is in the child's life, then the father should continue to do what the father is doing. And if you decide that you want to be a bonus blessing to that kid, then the more the merrier, because it takes a village, and the more love that a kid receives, then the more well-rounded mentally, emotionally, all of this spiritually that these kids will be, the more love that they receive, the more attention, the more affection that they receive. But if you're saying that, oh, well, I'm here now, I'm gonna be the daddy now, she don't need to ask dude for nothing. I don't know how I feel about that. Again, that would be hopefully, and it may be he's saying that that's in the situation of a chick that is chasing her baby daddy down because he ain't never doing her. She always calling him, your baby need this, your baby need that, and the baby daddy ain't doing it. If it's in a situation like that, then I can totally understand and support what he said. But again, on the flip side, if the father is in the child's life, I don't think that it's fair for you to say, well, the baby daddy she should have contacted the baby daddy for anything, and the baby daddy is in the child's life. So, I mean, it's a good, I'm going to look at it from the good perspective, and he's saying it from the standpoint of the father not being in the child's life, and he's coming in and he's going to take, some of the burden off the mom. And so it's like he's saying you don't have to go back and forth with your baby daddy is taken care of, so you don't have to worry about that. If you with me, I'm taking care of you and the kids. You ain't got to reach out to no dude for nothing else. I can totally understand that. I can totally respect that. But now look, what I cannot understand and what I cannot respect, you all. So look, Brittany Renner, they're saying that, she's going to court and she was awarded $5,000 a month for child support from NBA player PJ Washington. So she was getting $5,000 a month. Baby girl was like, listen, wait. Hold up. Stop the press. You all, this brother just signed a $90 million contract, and I'm going to need some more money. I'm going to need some more because $5,000 is not enough to take care of a child. I need about $35,000 a month to take care of a child. What do you all think? PJ Washington's baby mama, Brittany Renner, was asking for $35,000 a month from child support. She was currently getting $5,000, but she wanted the judge to boost that up because he got his payday came in, his paycheck increased, and so she's like, okay, well, no, what I can't even take care of the kid on $5,000. I need $35,000. What I would say to Sister Renner, ma'am, go get you a job and you contribute your own $5,000, and therefore now your child is receiving $10,000 of child support a month. Case closed. There's no reason to go back in front of the judge. Listen. This sounds like a classic case of a chick that had a baby for a check. Now listen, you low budget chicks that's out here having these babies just for a check so that you can get you a certain lifestyle. Please go and donate your womb to charity because we tired of you trifling chicks. We are tired of this trifling type behavior. Now, I'm not only going to go in and tell her to donate her womb to charity. Sir, donate. Listen, go let them tie your little testes up so that you can stop producing kids until you get yourself together. Because this is ridiculous, you all. This only hurts the kid. Ladies, it is not your payday because his contract increased. You're getting $5,000. You're not going to listen. You don't have a country Wayne. You all have to stop thinking that these dudes these dudes are not like Country Wayne. They don't like y'all like that. See, Country Wayne, he got his baby mamas, all of his kids are living their best entire life. You all got to stop thinking that all these other dudes are like that, because they are not. I admire the way Country Wayne is with his kids, with his families, with his baby mamas. I truly admire that, because this man is wealthy and he's living a wealthy lifestyle. And guess what? I think he has like 8 or 9 kids. All of his kids and all of his baby mamas, they all live good. They driving good. They doing well because he takes care of them. Everybody, Brittany, I'm sorry. PJ ain't like that. He like, yeah, I'm rich, and I don't care if this kid over here is still struggling or living beneath how I'm living. I made this money. This kid ain't got to live as good as I live. You not finna live as good as I live. That's on you. You chose to have this baby. That's how a lot of these dudes think. If you want your child to live a better life, ma'am, because $5,000 a month, and then plus what you're contributing, your child should be fine. If you're matching his $5,000, that's $10,000 that's going towards the child. The problem is you didn't have a game plan. You thought that you was just going to go to court and the judge was going to give you all this man's money. But again, what you got to understand, you all already know by me telling this story, she's a system. That's why you didn't get $35,000. We're going to just call a spade a spade. They not going to give you that type of money. Had it been Becky with the good hair, she'd probably got $75,000 a month for child support. But who am I? I'm not keeping tabs. I'm just telling you how this stuff is going on out here. But Brittany Renner, $5,000 plus your $5,000, $10,000 is definitely enough to take care of the child, your child, y'all child. Again, if he decides, should he decide like, yo, man, I just got a increase, let me give her a little something extra. Should he do that? Of course he should. But see, he's not, because they have a history of having a very toxic relationship. Plus, he's married. So, the wife is not going to be supportive of that decision at all. And I'm not on board with that. Here's what I would say. Wives, if you know that your husband got baby mamas out here, outside kids, stay out of that. Stay out of those relationships if you don't have anything positive to add. If you are an instigator or an agitator, stay out of the situation. If you know she don't like you because she felt like you stole her man from her, stay out of it. Okay, stay out of these people's business, okay? Because a lot of times you all make things worse than they have to be. You don't need to go to the house when he go pick the kid up. You don't need to be in the car. Stop going to these people's houses. You know these people don't like you already. Why are you going to this woman's house? Stay out this woman's house. This B that not be. Yes, B, stay at home. If you that insecure about him picking up the kid from the baby mama, why did you marry him? See, you put yourself in that situation. If you can't trust your baby mama or your baby daddy to be around their baby mama or their baby daddy without you being present, maybe you should reconsider that relationship. Is that really the relationship that you want to be in? Is that really the type of marriage that you desire to be in? You're with somebody and you cannot fully trust them to be alone with their ex. Is that really a situation that you want to be in? Now, every time they go pick up the kid, go drop the kid off, you got to clown and you got to act crazy. Or I'm going with you. You going so that you can try to prevent them from sleeping together. If you feel like that sleeping together energy is still there, it doesn't matter how many times you go with them to pick the kid up, the drop, you're not going to stop it. If they still attracted to each other and they still ready to get it in, it don't matter what you do. They're going to find an opportunity when you turn your back. They're going to find an opportunity to get together. I don't understand why people get in situations like that. And then you have to be super uptight. You have to be super clingy because the person that you're with, you know that they steal for the streets. Why put yourself in that situation? Don't y'all want to live in peace? Don't you want to have a happy, productive life? You can do that by leaving these people that are for the streets. Leave them for the streets. See, you shouldn't have to be stressing yourself, wondering, trying to prevent some cheating. How long did you do that enough in your 20s? Out there trying, oh, I'm finna see if he over his baby mama house. Baby, do you know how much energy that take? Let people go and do exactly whatever it is that they desire to do. Let people do what they gonna do. You can't stop it. You can't prevent it. Leave folks alone. Let them do what they gonna do. But should she be getting a $35,000 increase for child support? Absolutely not, unless PJ feels like, you know what, listen, I'm doing this for my son. I want to upgrade my son's lifestyle. And by default, the mother's lifestyle is going to upgrade. And again, a lot of times I think too that that's why the fathers don't be trying this other extra child support, because they don't want the mothers to upgrade by default. But I will say this to that. You chose her. You skeeted in her. You dropped it like it was hot. You left your soldiers over there. You chose her. Oh, I didn't choose to get her pregnant. She trapped me. We're not even gonna go there with this trap stuff. We're not going there with the trap stuff. Because again, you made a good and grown decision. She said she was on the pill. Always protect you and the NBA, for crying out loud. I know they done told y'all the tricks and the pitfalls, but you still chose to ignore it. So now you have to deal with this being your baby mama. But don't let your child or make your child suffer because you don't like the baby mama, or you don't want to deal with the baby mama. And listen, ladies, baby mamas, stop being so doggone difficult to deal with. Stop being so difficult to like. Some of you all are just so doggone raggedy and ratchet to it's not even funny. Some of you all are so god doggone miserable to it's just, Lord, it's just a mess. Some of you all are just so flipping toxic. You all, some of these be careful. Watch your young men, your young sons, because these chicks, you all, some of these young ladies act like some wild hyenas. They act like some wild banshees, some wild cheetahs, some wild alley cats. Some of these girls today, you look at these girls and you like, who raising y'all? Did anybody give you all any structure, any guidance, they just coming out, they just, I just look, I'm just like, wow. And it's not wow in a good way. And it's not a judgmental wow. It's a sad wow. It's just like, dang, this is where our generations are. This is what our future is. I believe the children are our future. This is what we got to look forward to. We gotta listen, we gotta go back and start being all hands on deck. But guys, listen, we definitely have to get it together, because again, a lot of these young ladies are just, look, they too much. They too much for me to mention, too much for these young guys to handle. And teach them, please, teach these girls to keep their hands to themselves. Listen, you all, some of these, I've seen a video the other day. The kids, they're in school, and the young girl, she's hitting and slapping all on the young man. And he's got his hand and he's like pushing her back, not pushing her, but he got his hand out trying to keep her from hitting him. And baby, she's just coming at him, slapping him in the face like waka, punching him, just doing everything, hitting him really hard. He trying to get away, trying to back. And then she just slapped him. And before she knew it, he took her and he tossed her right on her neck, right on the floor. Don't go grabbing him. What was he supposed to do? He was trying to get away. But she sat up there and she squared up on this guy like she was a man. So now when he did to her what he would do to a man, she get up and she looking like, I can't believe he hit me. Wait, what you mean you can't believe he hit you? You done slapped him so many times. He's trying to get out the way. You punching him all in the face. You doing all this. And then when he finally gets fed up with it and puts you on your neck, now you confused. I don't understand. Yes, we teach our young men, don't hit a woman. But was that hitting a woman, or were you defending yourself? Or were you protecting yourself? Because a lot of these chicks think they tough. I'm just going to say it. A lot of you all think that you can beat these dudes because they not hitting y'all. Y'all think that they scared because they not hitting y'all. They not hitting y'all back. Please stop doing this, ladies. Please, if you know that you got a young lady that is violent, please talk to her, because she gonna put her hands on the wrong person and they not even gonna care about her being a girl. They're really not. I believe that is definitely a mental illness. That domestic violence, I think that's a mental illness. And you guys, that's what we're talking about tonight. Can mental illness ruin dating and relationships? Can it? Because it's like a lot of these people, this is getting crazy, Now, let's just talk about what a mental illness is, because a lot of times we don't shed enough light on mental illness, because I know it's taboo, but it's important to know what it is. So listen, according to an online source, mental illness refers to a wide range of mental health conditions and disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and your behavior. So that's why I say I believe that domestic violence is a mental disorder, because it affects your mood. You sitting up here, you ready to fight all the time, kick up dust. That ain't normal. That ain't right. Staying with somebody that hits you, in my opinion, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not any of those professional things. I'm an observer, and I've seen a lot of ish. And I believe that staying with somebody that abuses you, a lot of times that person has a mental disorder as well. Why do I say that? And I'll explain. A person that believes that they deserve to be hit on, or they justify a person hitting them, I believe that that's a mental disorder. I believe that it is something wrong, because I believe that low self-esteem is a mental disorder, because we just said it was your mood, the way you think, and your behavior. Low self-esteem has a lot to do with the way you think about what you think and feel about yourself. So if you don't think highly of yourself, or you don't think you deserve love or respect or good things, then that tends to determine the stuff that you accept in relationships, because you feel that you don't deserve to be treated in a good manner. Dealing with people with these mental disorders, it definitely can affect dating. It can affect your relationships, especially, you all, listen, especially with a lot of these, a lot of these people don't even know that they have mental disorders. A lot of people, listen, especially in the Black community, people always say this our favorite line. Oh, he been like that for a long time. He been like that all his life. Yeah, crazy. He been crazy all his life, and everybody been making it seem like it's okay because he act like that. It's not okay. You got somebody that's always fighting and always carrying on. Oh, he been like that since he was little. Yep. Been needed some help. Been needed to be put in a white straight jacket, and y'all just leaving him out here in civilization. Yep, he been need help since he was a little kid. And now, since they've been doing it for so long, we've normalized it because we're so used to seeing this bad behavior. But that's not right. You all, some people are walking around here with serious mental illnesses, and people don't know what they're dealing with. Some people don't know that, listen, this is a real serious situation. We can't just keep saying this just the way they are. We can't keep saying that, because it's more to it than this is just the way they are. Let's figure out why they're like that, and let's get them some help. What causes mental illness? Now listen, many people have mental illness concerns from time to time, but a mental health concern becomes a mental illness when ongoing signs and symptoms cause frequent stress and affect your ability to function in the way that you normally function. Here are 5 signs of a mental illness. The first one is a change in a person's personality. If someone is acting very different, or acting or not feeling themselves, sometimes that's a warning sign. Listen, if 1 minute they always hot and they cold, they up, they down, you don't listen. You don't know who you gonna get. You don't know what personality you gonna walk into. Listen, we gotta stop thinking that that's normal. We gotta stop normalizing that, because that ish ain't normal. Listen, some of us are related to people that got a million personalities. Listen, my daddy, God rest his soul, listen, I know they was waiting to slap a schizophrenia diagnosis on that brother. I know it. I know. Listen, it was a whole bunch of psychopath diagnoses that he left this world and nobody told him he had these conditions. Oh, I know. Can't nobody tell me differently. He just did not get diagnosed or get treated. But in hindsight, looking at a lot of his actions, his behavior, his personality, definitely some schizophrenia and a whole bunch of other, like 2 or 3 more serious situations where he shouldn't have been around the public. That's another story. So I'm not a stranger to dealing with mental illnesses and seeing it up close and personal. And listen, you all, this ish can be scary when these folks flip out and flare up. You be like, whoa, because it can happen at any time to anybody. Some of us know people that we know, listen, their behavior is so erratic. You can go from low to high in the blink of an eye. You can go from laughing and having a good time to, baby, they about to clear the whole facility. That's just how drastic a change in their mood and their personality can be. And that's not normal. Again, a lot of times we will say, yeah, she always do that. He always do that. Just because that mean that they've been a whole crazy person for a long time and they ain't never got help. That don't mean it's normal. That don't mean it's right. So we gotta stop, because that's something that, listen, Black folks, I love us. Listen, I'm talking to us because I sit at the tables. This what we say. You see that crazy uncle? He always been like that. Oh my God, he always doing that. You think? Because something wrong with him. It ain't, that's how he is. No. Something is wrong. That's just not how he is. The next sign, their uncharacteristic anxiety, the anger, or their moodiness. Sometimes people, they withdraw, they socially withdraw, they isolate themselves. They don't want to be around anybody. Another sign is lack of self-care or risky behaviors. They're doing things that could get them hurt and they don't care. They don't care what goes on. I don't care if somebody happened to me. I don't got nothing to live for anyway. Don't nobody love me anyway. Listen, stuff like that. It's something wrong here. Something's wrong, and you got to help them people get checked out quickly. Now, the whole thing is, that statement that I just said is easier said than done. Because a crazy person, and I'm saying it with love, because listen, the screws are not tied all the way. They're not screwed all the way tight up here. So that's why I can talk to my family. It's easier said than done a lot of times to get people to go and talk to somebody, especially us Black people. I love us, you all, and I only know us, so that's why I'm talking to us about this. We don't want to go talk to nobody. If we go talk to somebody, we're going to talk to the pastor, which is fine to talk to the pastor. I'm not saying do not talk to the pastor, but you got to talk to the pastor so that they can give you the spiritual outlook on what your problem is. And then you got to go talk to somebody that got MD behind their name so that they can give you something. If you need a prescription, they will be able to give you a prescription. If you need a 30-day stay somewhere, they will be able to give you a 30-day stay. So you need both of them. So you need the pastor to be praying that maybe that 30 days go from 30 to 15 days. But you can't keep going on how you going on with what's going on. Yes, these mental illnesses can affect relationships. They can ruin relationships and they can ruin marriages because the behavior, the way that people with mental illnesses are, especially if it's undiagnosed, people don't know what's going on with you. People don't know what you're doing. what your problem is. All they know is up, you about to act out again, and they tired of it. They tired of you showing out. Listen, you got a chick that won't leave you alone. That's not normal. Why is she obsessed? Why is he obsessed? Why is he stalking you? It's not cute. It's not fun. Every time I turn around, oh my God, he just trying to get back with me. Oh, honey, stop thinking that that's a badge of honor. Something is wrong. There's something loose up there with that brother. Oh, she every time I get with somebody, she always trying to break up every relationship I get with somebody new. She always trying to break up my relationships. That's not normal. Neither is it healthy. There are 5 common mental illnesses. The first one is depression. Now, depression, it impacts an estimated 300 million people. And this is one of the most common mental disorders. And you all, this one it's really dangerous, you all, because depression can lead to a lot of other things if not properly addressed. People dealing with depression, they often don't want to be around other people. They give up, like they're withdrawn, like we were saying earlier. They're isolated from family and friends. They don't take pride, or they don't take joy and pride in their appearance anymore. If they were once the life of the party, their whole mood and their whole attitude changes. Be careful with depression, because it's nothing to play with. And if you are somebody that deals with depression, or you suffer from a mental illness, please call the mental health illness hotline, and I'll have that number. I'm sorry, guys, I meant to have it, but I'll have it posted in the pinned comments after the show. But talk to somebody. I know we don't have as much mental health help that we should. So you all, that's why we have to be helpers one to another. We got to kind of listen. We put each other through so much god doggone stuff. Like you don't even know what people are going through. Be careful with how you talk to people. Be careful with how you treat people, because you don't know who is living on the edge. You don't know who is at their wits' end, that is just saying, you know what, I don't know how much more I can take in this life. I'm just tired. You don't know who is at that point. Let's be a light to somebody, because you know what? You never know who you are helping. You never know who you might save. You never know. You can be outside walking past a complete stranger. Good morning. You never know. Some people walk through this life and feel like nobody sees them, like they're invisible. You could be the one good morning or how you doing that can change the perspective for a person. Let's not be so quick to just lash out at people and just say all of this negative stuff and do all this negative stuff. Let's start trying to change some of that energy. Depression tends to affect more women than it does men. So definitely be mindful of that, because again, we all have a lot going on, but sometimes in a lot of situations, especially in the hood, mothers being single mothers, especially now, with social media having this bash single mothers fest, baby, they sliding, dragging single mothers through the mud. So I can only imagine how much harder it is today in the dating pool, being a single mom with young kids at home, trying to still have a social life or find a good man to date you. But now because you got kids and the internet is telling this man that since you got kids, all you're worth is you're a plaything. You're not worth having a relationship with. I can see that can easily send some women, single moms, into a state of depression, because it'll have you feeling like, man, maybe they're right. Nobody is going to want me because I got all of these kids, or because I have kids. Nobody is going to want me because I'm this or because I'm that. You all listen. I know this is going to be easier said than done, but don't allow society's views upon your situation, your life, whatever it is that you have going on. Don't allow society's labels and boxes and where they say you should be or what applies to you. Don't allow that to define you. Don't allow that to dictate your life. Don't allow that to dampen and darken your heart and darken your spirit. You got to understand, this is social media. They get paid and make big money off of being mean and saying rude, evil, mean things. When you talk about things that are going to help us, people don't want to hear it. When you're talking about positive things, people don't want to hear it. Just like with this show tonight, people don't want to hear this. I'm looking at my numbers. I'm like, dig, okay, so you guys don't want to hear this. But then I'll get asked, well, why don't you talk about something positive? Because you don't show up. Because negativity sells. But again, I love us too much to not talk about things that's going to help us grow. So definitely depression. The next one, anxiety. A mental health disorder characterized by feelings of exaggerated worry, tension, anxiety, or fear that are strong enough to interfere with one's daily activities. Bingo! That's the category that this crazy person falls in. Baby, let me tell you something. Sometimes my anxiety can get so high and heated. Baby, I'm not doing nothing until I calm this right here. I'll be like, you know what? I'm a whole crazy, and I've suffered from anxiety for a long time. And I think, sometimes I feel like it's getting better, but I feel like it's changed into different areas. Now, see, I can talk, a lot of you all may not even know that, because I don't have nothing to hide. Like, I'm a whole crazy person. That's why I say we family. I can talk. Listen, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. I come from a long line of crazy. Look, it's probably some other stuff up in there too. And anxiety is the only one that I know of. My daddy, like I said, God rest his soul. I probably done had a bout of schizophrenia here and there. No, I ain't had no schizophrenia, but it may come. But anxiety. I deal with anxiety. I've definitely had anxiety attacks, panic attacks, baby. And it's physical. I've had them to the point where you can feel it. Like, it's a feeling. Those panic attacks, those anxiety attacks. Woo! I'm just like, oh my God. So I've been, trying to master breathing techniques and, but then sometimes, again, it says your mind, exaggerated worry and tension. Sometimes my mind went from here all the way to Mississippi, and I'll be like, please come back. And it take a minute for it to come back. Sometimes it takes some hours for it to come back. So that's why I do my best to keep myself cool, calm, and collected. I don't go crazy. My anxiety hasn't had me to act crazy. My anxiety has caused me to panic, and it affects me physically. So I just be like, yo, I just need to just take me just like a moment and I have to debrief, and I have to do my best to get my mind right. And let me say this, my mind it ain't never been 100% right, but I know where my mind should be, just enough so I can be balanced for who I am. But when that anxiety kicks in, man, I'll be like, here we go. Here we go. It's like my exam. For me, my anxiety causes me to have different physical effects. Like but mostly, I just don't want to go outside and I don't want to do anything. That's my anxiety is high. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be around anybody. I just need to just woosah and figure out what just unclicked up here that got me all riled up. Because again, that's what anxiety is, exaggerated worry. It could be the simplest thing. And I'm like, oh, I took it and just ran a whole mile with it. That's anxiety. Bipolar affective disorder, formerly called manic depression, is a serious mental illness that causes dramatic shifts in a person's mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. Know a couple of people that need to be diagnosed with this. Couple of them, they still out here. Couple of them. This is not normal, you all. And this is a person that can go, like we like to say, from 0 to 100. That ain't normal. But again, we've gotten so used to seeing people act like that we don't necessarily instantly think this is a mental illness. You a whole god doggone crazy person and ain't nobody told you about it. Bipolar disorder is nothing to play with. This can get, because this type of situation, this can be very, very dangerous. People that deal with bipolar disorder are often very, very violent. Very violent. And oh Lord, don't, God forbid, if you add some liquor to it. Now, why you gonna go and listen? You done went from a firecracker to a whole M80. Just like that. Add that liquor to them people. So you got to be very, very careful. And the guys, listen again. We got to stop. I feel like our number one, the thing that we have to stop doing, we got to stop thinking this just how they are. Or since they've always been like this, and start recognizing, man, something might be wrong with them. You think? You think? Stop letting them blame it always on the alcohol. Alcohol is going to make bipolar disorder even worse. You listen, you dealing with doggone and Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and all kinds of stuff, dealing with these people with bipolar. Again, they can go from 0 to 100 quickly. Often leading to very dangerous interactions. So be careful. Schizophrenia. This R.I.P. my daddy. This one, I think this man fell in. A long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and a sense of mental fragmentation. Mental fragmentation. Listen, they living in their whole own world. They see stuff that don't nobody else see. They hear stuff that don't nobody else hear. It, and they think it's real. It's real to them, but nobody else can see it. The stuff that they hear, they often hear voices and, you know, all this other stuff that, again, you like, I ain't heard nothing. The voice telling them to do this, the voice telling them to do that. Be very, very, very careful, because schizophrenia, again, that's a very dangerous situation and mental illness to be dealing with. Very serious, very dangerous. So be careful. And again, this is one of the top 5 common mental illnesses. Dementia, a chronic or persistent disorder of the mental processes caused by brain disease or injury and marked by memory disorders, personality changes, and impaired reasoning. I'm finding that a lot of that is dementia. Is a lot of our seniors and our elders are starting to have that dementia. And I'm not sure. I kind of believe that that's man-made, or it's a tribute. You know, it's a result of the food and the chemicals and stuff that's being put in the food and stuff like that. So I kind of almost want to think that that's what dementia is, because if you really think about it, way back in the day, I don't remember anybody, you know, our grandparents and great grandparents like dealing with this. But now, like, our parents and their grandparents and their parents and our parents are starting to deal with that. But like great grandparents, and like, I don't remember that being something that we experienced, because Medina was up taking care of everybody. Medina, they took care of everybody. But now Medina today, you know, they minds are leaving. So again, I definitely think that has a lot to do with the food. Now, let me just add this one in, because this seems to be one that we all love to talk about, and this has become just one of our favorite words. We diagnose everybody with this. Narcissism. A narcissist. What is a narcissist? Because I know, listen, you all, that's one of our favorite words today. Everybody is a narcissist. But a narcissist, they have a grandiose sense. Like, baby, they the end all be all. They the show shop. They the shine. You cannot and will not find anybody better than they are, in their opinion. In their mind, you ain't going to get no better than them. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, you like, oh, and I hope I never find anybody like you again. I hope I don't. So while they're thinking that statement that they said, you ain't gonna never find nobody like me, meanwhile, you hoping you never find nobody like them. Narcissism. They think they more important than what they really are. They think the world revolves around them. Everything is about them, but that don't necessarily, you know, because a lot of us, you know, think we're important too, you know. They live in a fantasy world that supports their delusion. They need constant praise and admiration. If they do something for people, they gotta brag about it, and they always gonna throw it up in your face what they did for you. You constantly gotta thank them for everything. They do things just for attention. They don't do it because of kindness. They do it for praise. They do it for admiration. They do things, they get things so that people can, you know, the attention can be on them. It's all about them. Their sense of entitlement. Child, look, that speaks for itself. They exploit others without guilt or shame. Baby, they will use you, abuse you, victim blame. And look, they'll bring you up so high, turn you around, use you, how your head spinning, and throw you right out there, throw you right back outside and on to the next victim. Be careful dealing with people with narcissistic behaviors, because listen, you can't reason with these people. If you are dealing with somebody that is a narcissist, be careful, because those are some slick, when I tell you those are some slick, crafty devils, those are some slick, crafty demons. Baby, them people that with narcissism, them narcissists, baby, they will have you think, listen, by the time you done dealing with somebody that's a narcissist, you're going to have one of these mental disorders after you done dealing with a narcissist. They don't, listen, narcissists leave a trail of destruction. Mental destruction, emotional destruction, financial destruction, physical destruction, you think, you name it, they leave in a whole trail of it. They often demean people, they intimidate them, they bully other people, they belittle other people. A lot of times, a narcissist, the only person that they have something good to say about is themselves. Nobody else. Everybody else, it's constant belittling. Listen, they'll love bomb you, gaslight you. Be very careful dealing with a narcissist. If you've dealt with a narcissist, drop it in a comment. Did you have one of these mental illnesses after dealing with a narcissist? Because baby, listen, dealing with a narcissist ain't no punk. How do you know? Because I've dealt with one. Oh, Lord have mercy. And I'll tell you, dealing with that, it only heightened my anxiety. I already had it, so it didn't give me another mental disorder, but it did heighten my anxiety really bad. I was at a point where I'm just like, oh my Lord, my anxiety was through the roof dealing with this narcissist. So now that it's been a long time since I've dealt with a narcissist, that the narcissist, I've been more calmer, and my anxiety has definitely been, definitely more manageable, and not as many flare-ups and not as many issues. But baby, dealing with that narcissist, woo! I was like trying to numb yodo Reiki every day, like numb yodo. I'm like, woo, child, this guy right here, when I tell you, get on my last good god doggone nerve. When he said, you ain't gonna never find nobody like me again, I said, good. Thank you, Lord. My prayers have been answered, honey. Yes, Lord. I never, ever want to run into no foolishness like this again. So you all dealing with mental illnesses, can they ruin relationships? Yes, they can. You all listen, Black people, look, come on. I love us. We got to take care of here. A lot of times we don't think that we need to talk to people. We do. And let me say another one that wasn't on here. And again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that. I'm just somebody that done been through the trenches and talked to a lot of people. After dealing with bad breakups and being cheated on, let me say this. Being cheated on can cause people to have PTSD. Oh, and we don't talk about that as nearly enough that we need to talk about that. And you know what? I think I might do a separate show on that, on PTSD, cheating causing people to have PTSD. But it's real out here, you all. Mental illness is real. We have to address it. We got to stop letting that be taboo in our homes and in our communities. We got to take care of ourselves, because if you're not right here, ain't nothing else gonna be right. Ain't nothing else gonna be balanced until you get this here together. And it's okay. Don't let people make you feel bad if you've dealt with depression or schizo or bipolar or any of this other stuff, anxiety. Don't let people make you feel bad. Now you don't want to go and talk to anybody to get help. Get help, because so that you can live a healthy and happy life. Don't allow the stigma. Oh, I don't need no help. I don't have to talk to no black people. We don't talk to nobody. We don't tell nobody. We should. We should. Got folks walking around here crazy 60 years and then nobody told them that they was crazy. You're crazy. You need somebody to talk to. Again, we could talk to the pastor, but we also need somebody that can prescribe something, because some of these situations need some medication so that you can, or some inpatient stays to try to figure out and help you, tie your loose ends together. Mental health is real. We got to take care of ourselves. We go to the doctor for our physical bodies. It's okay to go to the doctor for your mental. We got to start being okay with that. Guys, I want to tell you, thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, if this has helped you, drop a, Jay, you know what? I know what you're talking about. You are absolutely right. I got the link. If you guys are dealing with any red flags in relationships, and some of those folks are some whole crazy people up in there, which is why they acting like that, pick up the ebook. The link is in the description. Guys, look, take care of yourselves and each other. Till next time, guys, be safe, be well. Peace out. Good night, you guys. Thank you. Good night.